Hello and welcome to the PM Show, your weekly roundup of what's new and going on in the modelling world. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Fine, thank you very much.
Good morning. I see how long it takes him to come in.
I was wondering who to answer first.
Yeah.
You'd think we'd work this out by now. We've done like how many of these shows? Been going years and years. Anyway, all doing very well, I take it.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
So, as I say, as you can see next to us, we've still got the 25% special limited time. It's still limited because we keep adding to it. This is the good thing to this one going on at the moment. So we'll take you through that a little bit later. So we've been very busy getting those orders out.
Yeah.
New bits and pieces been coming in this week as well.
Stocks really, isn't it?
Stock-wise, no new kits, unfortunately. We're still very, very lacking. I had an email yesterday, somebody saying about if I stopped doing reviews. I said I would do if something would get released, I could review it. But it's very, very quiet out there at the moment. As I say, we've got building-wise going on well, but review-wise and new stuff, not a lot. Although Matt has sent me down some of the Chrome AK paint.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing a full-on test review with that next week. So watch out for that one. That'll be out and about. So it'll be interesting to see how that stacks up to the Molotov stuff.
We've had a couple of new kits in new arrivals, but well, I say new kits, but new to us, but
Yeah.
yeah, but nothing. Yeah, again, nothing much.
We're just waiting now, aren't we? It's that, like I say, second quarter's just
Always the quiet one. Yeah.
rubbish, isn't it? Anyway, good news is ICM are back.
Yes, I did see their press release that they put out. It's nice to see that they're back up to full speed again. So again, I know obviously a lot of us were worried about what was happening in that part of the world, and clearly still are. And it's nice to see that, they've made an announcement that getting stuff back on track. Obviously, there's a small delay to various things, obviously. But it's still on the way and coming. So well done to ICM.
Yeah, it's good to hear they're all safe and back up and running, isn't it? So again, I think
definitely.
Master Box are releasing some stuff. I think Mini Art's still going as well. So I think a few of the others, Res Kit, I think we're back up as well. I think they put an announcement. So yeah, good, really good news, really good positive news. And the rest
it is. It's nice to have a bit of positive news.
Great, but at least that's good that they're still able to trade and produce kits. So. Excellent news.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely. Right, okay, so as I say, we have got a few new things in. So we got the colour set has come in this week, which we've just changed the picture. We should have left that up for Comedy Gold, really.
Lack of colour set.
So we've got in now some of the sets, and as I say, we're probably going to be getting a few more colour sets in over the next few weeks as well. So you see Matt is there, lovely and fondling one as we speak. So yes, this is the face skin set colour set of 8. I take it, Matt, you know all about these. This is the ones you use?
I've used them, yeah, between that and the AK ones. They're the ones I use, and I think I've done it on used them on my one of my vids, to be honest, probably the tanker video or perhaps the dragon figure. I must have used them.
I've got the same ones as well. I think it comes in get it in a set of 24 as well, can't you? I think I bought the set.
Massive set, yeah. But this is perfect. There's enough in here for get you started if you're going to go down the figure painting, like for faces and stuff. So some really nice colours in there. So yeah, I recommend that. And like I say, we are going to get a few more sets in from Model Air sets as well. So aircraft ones and.
In my defence, the colours I did originally put up would have been perfect for Matt's German figure he did.
What, the washed out look?
Yeah, the machine gunner chap.
What, the one from The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
It's in the Ardennes, like cold.
It was very cold.
It looked like it, because the colour set we did have up there is the picture. I clicked on it obviously for the show, and it's all in greys and blues.
It was a skin colour set.
It was like, was that for the Walking Dead set? It was like, speaking of which, ICM have just said, because it didn't come out, did it? But they've done the King's set from Walking Dead.
No, that's from Game of Thrones, isn't it?
From Game of Thrones. Sorry, yeah, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
For the King's set. So again, it looked quite good, that. And then obviously it went quiet on that front, purely with ICM. But I did notice it was part of the press release for the ones that are coming down the line.
Yeah.
So
might see the Beaufort.
Yes.
Which would be nice in the 48th, and the helicopters, the sky crane and stuff.
Well, yeah, I must admit it was obviously it was terrible what's happening over there, full stop. But when it originally, the first round of this, when it kicked off, it was like, that's such a shame, because I was really looking forward to the Sky Crane. I must admit that was a nice one, and so we've been looking forward to the Beaufort as well. And so really, really good news that they are back in production and getting back up to full speed again. So, and again, I'll tell you what, we were talking about kit releases. I think that's why we've missed ICM so much, because they've been that company. They are the trumpeter of 10 years ago who, they were releasing kits nice and steady all the time. Where some manufacturers, let's face it, like the Tammys of this world and Airfix and that, it's very few and far between. There's lots of hype around, but it's actually getting them. But ICM were just that really dependable company that every quarter there'd be releases coming down the line. And when it stops, like now, we come to do our shows and it's like, not much been released this week, Well, but before, you'd always depend on ICM.
It was always something to talk about as well. Isn't it?
Yep.
So every month they had a schedule and they were sticking to it. So, I mean, let's hope with what is going off over there, they can carry on trading and producing. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, the old country's not out of the woods by a long way. So, fingers crossed they can carry on and supply us with lovely kits as they do.
Yes, definitely. Yes, absolutely. But as I say, well done to them. Nice to see them back. Hopefully, as I say, we'll get some good bits coming in from them shortly. And then obviously I'll do the reviews on them, and then obviously they'll be back up on the site. And we can get the old thing going around on that one again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But apart from that, as I say, we've got restocks in this week of various paints. We spoke about last week, they came in, wasn't it? So Hitaka came back in, so we've had restocks of that. Tamiya paints, as I say, the thinners and glues and all things like that, they are now back in stock as well. So again, it was just really us trying to get stock levels back up to where we need them to be. So they're in. I'm doing very well. As I say, we have got our special sale on at the moment, as we can see here. So Nunu was added to this last week. As you know, we've still got obviously all the dragon stuff that is going up there. So that's all looking very, very nice, as you can see. So lots of dragons. So if you're into your dragon stuff, as I say, it's 25% off down in here. So you can go off and grab them. We've got the figures in there as well. So that's really, really good at the moment. And obviously we've got some other bits and pieces. So we've got some art model stuff in there. Chieftains, I thought we were out of them. Have we got only a couple left, isn't it?
A couple left, I think.
That's it.
And many left.
So with them, obviously some of the A model stuff, Range Rovers, and obviously we've got the Beetles down there for the Ashima ones. Again, so this is literally all 25% off. So lots of cars, lots of other bits and pieces down in there. So if you want to grab yourself a bit of a bargain, as a lot of you have clearly done, grab it whilst you can. So this is all part of our master plan.
Has to clear out, isn't it?
Clear out. The warehouse has definitely got a bit of breathing space in it. At least we can get some stuff in it now.
It's going very quick as well, so grab it while it's there.
Yeah,
so
again, it's gone.
Yeah, that's it. This is sort of end of line. If you wanted, we can get them in as specials, but this is the end of line stuff for us. So if you do want to grab them, definitely grab them now as they're going through. We've got the other things as well. Sorry.
Let's go to new arrivals for us.
Yes, that's just where I was going.
Is that what it is? I think
in my head.
Armour at the top.
Yes.
Yeah,
and also the fine molds F4 are in.
So again, I've spoken about this because I am a real fanboy of the retirement schemes from the EJ Phantom. So obviously these are the Japanese retirement scheme Phantoms, because obviously they've now departed and been replaced by everything else, but mainly by the F-35s. But they've got some gorgeous retirement schemes, as you can see down in here, which actually just makes the Phantom just that little bit cooler. For a cool aircraft, it's very difficult, but as you say, we've got the one down in here, and again we've got the various bits. So these are the fine mold 72nd ones, which are gorgeous kits. They're really, really nice. So we've got that one in, and we've got one over here as well. So this is the recon version, just down in the normal ones, but again they're being retired as well, I do believe. I think the only ones still floating around now are just the commemorative type ones. So that's about it, unfortunately. So yes, very nice. To say the Armour Hobbies, we got the Mustangs Mark III, which is I say still is the coolest Mustang of the entire family.
I agree. I have to say I agree with you with that.
It's a bit like a love child, really, between a Spitfire and a Mustang.
Did that have the Allison engine in it, or did it gone on to the Merlin by then?
I think that's the Merlin, but looking at the exhausts, I don't know.
I think the Allison one was like the Apache, weren't it?
Yeah, the Allison engine one also didn't it have a small bump on the top.
Because we had the Allison engine before
Hmm.
we tested out, didn't we? Then we put the Merlin in it, and then.
All else loose.
But would we call that a Mark 1, not a Mark 3?
I don't know. See, we don't know our marks. We should do our homework on this. But I just think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Then it's got DD schemes, hasn't it? So it must be later on. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say. Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously. Yeah. So yeah, I'd definitely say that's probably a Merlin engine into that one. But again, really cool aircraft, cool scheme. What's not to love there? And also, as you say, I've done the review on it. It's a gorgeous kit as well. Beautiful kit. And the Fokker. Everyone loves a Fokker. Got the E5. Something a little bit different.
Definitely.
That's got to be tiddly, isn't it, in 72nd?
Very much so.
Because I've done the Newport in 72nd and it's literally like that.
Yeah, it's not going to be big.
No, but it does come with cartograph decals. Do you get nice sheets to do the lozenge patterns in there, do you think?
I actually don't know. I've not looked in the box. I wouldn't be surprised if you did, because obviously painting a lozenge scheme is not the easiest thing in 30 seconds. So can you imagine trying to do it in 70 seconds? So
that's a lot of masking tape.
Yeah, I would have said so.
That's one for our Nathan, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah. Look, it's got pram wheels.
It's almost got wings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, something a little bit different from them. Obviously, the big news coming out is that they've got their releases line sort of sorted out, and they were talking about various other new kits that are coming along, including their 48 scale Hurricane they spoke about last week.
Yep.
So again, it's one of those, they keep teasing, don't they, with it? It's like, look what you could be building, but we're not going to release it yet because we're going to do this, this and this, but we are working on it. And they've been saying that for a couple of years now, and now I'm starting to feel a little bit like,
for real.
You're playing us around on this one. You're like teasing me like a cat. Are you going to release it or what? So, but I'm looking forward to seeing their stuff in the bigger scales. This is just personal to me. It's that they've done beautiful kits in 72nd. I've built the Hurricane, and it was an absolute joy to build, and the detail is absolutely exquisite. So I just like to see what they can do in a slightly bigger scale. And as I say, they've been pushing for the Hurricane, and it would be really, really nice to see that. And even if it's just a blown up version of that one, it'll be fantastic. But I'm hoping they'll do a little bit more with it, so it'll just be enough for them to stretch their wings, having a bit more room to play with, shall we say.
It could be and should be stunning, shouldn't it?
It should. Again, it might be one of those ones of peaking, isn't it? Have they peaked too soon? Then, you know, when you're stepping up, as we know, other companies have done it in the past. If you remember what Trumpeter used to be like, because Trumpeter used to do that thing about, and they've released it in 30 seconds, and we used to joke about this, they've just upscaled it. So some of the surface details wasn't right. And I remember when I built their 32nd scale Swordfish, it's a great kit, don't get me wrong, but the surface detail is just not right. It's almost like it's just been blown up. So whilst it will work really well in 72nd and 48 scale, when you get to 32nd, some of the little joiner areas, that it looked like a donut on it. But luckily, I think it was Edard did a photo etch sheet for it. So you just cut all the surface detail off and replaced it with photo etch, and it looked amazing. It was a great kit. But again, it's one of those ones where sometimes you go bigger, it doesn't work. I'm just hoping now that was an old kit, but they won't fall into that little trap. But it will be really, really nice to see. So yes, there's a few things I'm waiting for to come out to have a proper look at, and that is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So
hopefully now, I mean, when does third quarter end officially? Is it end of May?
Yes.
Or end of June?
What are we? April?
End of June. End of June.
End of July, it'll be.
Will it?
Yeah.
Second quarter, I meant, not third.
Second quarter.
Yeah, end of June.
Yeah, end of June.
Oh, right. So hopefully then beginning of the summer, sort of July, we should be getting releases coming through. I tell you what's quiet at the minute, I've noticed, is Edard. Really quiet. They are re-releasing stuff, but it's only reboxing. The Hellcats come back out in 48th, and I've seen that there's a few other things that but actually, you know, the special editions have gone quiet for them.
Well, again, is this because of the way the world is at the moment, and obviously with the troubles in Ukraine, perhaps it may have been some of their reboxings, shall we call it, or specials have been a little bit in the air. Because it was one of the big things, I know we spoke about it, was that how is this going to affect other companies who like do Reeboks like Edard,
Yeah.
Just not because of just ICM and things like that around the world, but obviously just generally moving stuff around, and with the prices at the moment going through the roof on commodity, how that's going to affect, So maybe that's why they tightened up a little bit. Maybe they're just quiet and going through, but as I say, it was one of those questions I did pose at the time, is that I wonder what's going to happen with Edard's releases. Are we going to see a lot of their own kits come out again in new schemes and that to fill the void, if you like? So
yeah, like I say, that the Hellcat's back out because they've been updating the boxes and box arts and stuff, because some of the box arts again are just amazing.
Yes,
really are nice box arts for some of
mind you, they had their own problems last year, didn't they, with the fire and everything? So
yeah,
you don't know how much it did affect them until getting back online from that, do you? So I know it was storage, wasn't it? But
yeah, again, it's still going to affect stock, innit?
Yeah,
What's gone up, but yeah, no, just because normally they are releasing stuff. Don't get me wrong; it's not like they're completely not releasing it, but it's kind of just stuff that's being reboxed, really, rather than anything overly exciting. I think, if that's a polite way of putting it, do you know what I mean? So,
yes. So we got those down in there, and then also over on the special offers area, we've got down in here. So this is the ones which are either sort of damaged boxes, or it's like our sort of standard sort of 15% in here, in it, something like that.
10,
15%, up to 15% sale area down in here as well. So we've got the Jaguar, which I intend to build this year. Obviously, it's one of the very first video builds I did. So if you want to have a giggle with that, that's available as a free to watch on the Flooring Models site with a nice, I think I've got a nice sort of cable jumper on. I'm wearing proper Edinburgh wool. Yeah, I never forget that one.
Itch you.
Kept me warm in that house. That house was built in like 18...
to be honest, sitting in
30.
It, I could do with one. It's bloody in here today.
People used to take the mick out of me in jumpers doing those early videos, but I lived in a house that was built in 1830. There's no such thing as proper heating in that house. It was cold. So, but yes, anyway, that kit is up and available. And say we've got a bit of a deal on that one as well, only 1971. It's an old kit. It's been around for a long time, but actually for a 72nd scale Jaguar, it's very nice. It's actually good. I've built it a few times. So again, I have it over here. It is in my little stash to build. So definitely we'll be building that later on in the year. So if you're into your 72nd scale stuff, definitely. And again, the usual bits and pieces we said down in here. So we've got the Beamer from the Swedish Rally. See, that's when it's proper rallying.
That'd be cold.
That'd be cold. Or very hot, one or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got all the bits and pieces you can see down in there as well. So we've got obviously some of the AMK on offers, obviously the Great Wall Hobby stuff down in there, and a few other bits as well. As you can see, some of the Tamiya. This is some of the damage box stuff down there, or review samples that you'll find as well. Yep. So yes, all your bits and pieces down in there.
These ones in here do change from time to time. These won't be staying in.
No.
We'll move them around and add different stuff to this section, whereas the other sections.
Yeah, it's clearance, isn't it?
It's clearance,
yeah. So yeah,
it's just ones that we're adding to special. So
yeah, so basically down in here, obviously we've got our new arrivals, as you know how that works. We've got our special offers, and that's that section, and then obviously the 25% off is our clearance line area. So anything that's in there, that's how you can find your way around with those ones. And again, as you say, go on.
Just an update as well. We've had a AK order in, so we've had all the real colours, which we've been out of stock. They're back in. Some of the oil paints. So yeah. Oh, and the survival brush sets are back in.
Oh, right. Okie dokie.
They were out for a while because they didn't have them in, but they're back in as well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say now that if we're out of any paints, it's because our stockists
haven't got them.
Haven't got them.
Yeah, not us.
Very, very nice. If you've got a picture of the survival set one, isn't it?
Yeah, they're up top.
There, look.
There it is. I was actually a little bit disappointed. Wouldn't it be cool if it did come like that?
Yeah, in a Swiss.
If it actually did come as a Swiss one and you just flicked them out for your brushing, that would probably. I still think you're missing a trick there. Someone should do that. I've got my little multi system here, and you just flick open. I've got this one for dry brushing. I've got this one for fine detail. I've got this one with a big, nice flat brush. I think it'd work. I think people would buy that. I don't think you'd fit the big fan one in there. But that might be a struggle. So yeah, It'll be like The Simpsons. I've got this one for this one for shooting down helicopters, this one for breaking an entry. You'd have all the different ones in there. So yes, your Swiss knife for it would be pretty cool. It's a wonder they haven't been done for that, for misrepresentation on packaging.
Yeah.
So yes, very, very good stuff. So anyway, all your brushes, all your bits and pieces, you say they're all back in stock pretty much, as you can see.
Yeah.
So if you want to grab anything from Dan in there, and again, new stock's arriving all the time. Pre-orders, should we go to pre-orders?
Pre-orders.
Pre-orders.
Like I said, we've opened up the thingy ones again, because we can now get them in. ICM kits.
The thingy-me-job people.
Thingy-me-jobs,
the Ujimi flips.
Yeah, the ICM kits, because we actually closed them for a while when obviously we weren't sure what was happening, but we've opened those back up again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very nice. So first up, obviously came in this week, or is up on pre-order this week, is 24th scale. This is the Alpine Renault A110 Monte Carlo 1971 on a pre-order. That does look cool, doesn't it?
So I like the new one as well that they bought out. It looks very, very similar.
Yes.
Homage to that one, the new Renault Alpine boat.
I was going to say, it's actually a really good looking car for a Renault, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Renault fans, but let's face it, that's actually a cool looking car.
It did some nice ones back in the day.
What happened?
Yeah, but that's same for all cars. They're all dull and boring now. I like a Renault 5 Turbo. It was one car I always wanted. I don't think they were just great.
It's like driving a go-kart. That's what we were saying before, wasn't it? They get the sort of high-performance little hot hatches. That's what you want.
Except for a go-kart stronger.
Well, yeah, probably. It'll last longer.
1.4, weren't they? Turbocharged,
But the metal on them was just like... Oh god, so flimsy the things were, but yeah, they were cool. Lightweight, I'll give them that. They didn't have extra weight, but yeah. So Renault, anyway, get the Alpines up. So if you want one of them,
if you want one of those, they are up there as well. We've also said we've got the Tamiya. Oh, look, I'm upsetting the system now. No. Apparently, there we go. Got the Tamiya. This is the J. Again, so very nice kit, as we know. One of Tamiya's last releases, proper ones, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. From that and the F4, isn't it?
That and the F4 was all we saw over the last couple of years, isn't it? So, I've got the other boxing of it over here. It'd be one of those kits to do in the future.
You don't even like the aeroplane?
I'm not a fan of it, no. I don't. It's clearly one of those aircraft that looks far better in the air than it does on the ground. Because on the ground it looks a bit like an accident waiting to happen. But in the air it does look a little bit better. But I must admit, I'm not a fan of the old twin boom system. But again, very nice markings on that, and it looks like Margaret Thatcher on the front.
Oh God!
So yes, on that one, but probably not. But anyway, if you do want the Lightning, obviously this one is due in as well, and as I say, recommended retail on that one is 65, and obviously we're doing it for 58. So if you want to grab one of those, you can get it up there, members. Pop your name down, and we'll get them in for you. As I say, this is the Armour Hobbies one, the one that we, as you say, I just don't get, but there we go. Could have had the Hurricane out, but no, we got this one, just saying. So this one is out as well. So if you want to grab that one. And
again, they have to play to all markets, don't they? And that probably will sell better over in the Far East than Hurricane will, so. Don't know.
Maybe. Don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just incredibly biased, as you know.
Yeah.
As I said, we spoke about this one last week as well, but as I say, we've got a bit of interest going in this one. We need a bigger picture, really. This is for the Sterling Mark III.
Yeah, there's no better picture on the internet.
I say that is the only picture.
That's it. So again, this one is due out. When is this one out? Do we know when it's due? I'll have to do a review on it.
Hey, this is Italera. This could be.
I know, we might not ever see it.
This could be where, yeah.
That's why it's a black and white grainy picture. They just put it in there. Look what you can have.
Yeah, it was like the tornado 5 years later. It will turn up. But,
yes.
I did actually ask. I did say, because I didn't want to put it up if it was going to be 3 years' time. And they said, well, if we've got the info, then it is going to be doing. But this is a bit in the lap of the gods with said company when they release stuff. So it might be this year.
Might not. Anyway, we will see when it occurs. And pretty much everything else. We've got this one, which is obviously we're talking about ones, but obviously this is their ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as you say, nice pairing down in there. Which versions is this?
This is a Czechoslovakian-based 109, but I believe it's Merlin.
Avia, in it?
Yeah.
Avia?
Has it got a Merlin engine in it?
No, I don't think so.
No, not
No,
looking at it.
not Merlin one that in.
So what did
No.
in it then?
I was going to say, what is that like a G5 at the back then?
It's a late G in it, I think.
Is it a G5 or a G6? Or something like that?
G10.
That's what I was looking for.
I don't know. I don't know, but it's under Avia brand.
Apparently they were built in Czechoslovakia after the war.
Oh, right.
With plans and tools that they'd got from, obviously, Germany being there, Germans being there.
Yes.
Apparently they weren't very nice to fly.
Oh, okay.
I think Muzek or something like me. What the nickname was something like pig or something.
Right.
I believe. I'm not sure whether Mezek actually means pig or what
So
it's called.
better as a model than as a real thing.
Yeah.
But again, nice to see interesting types up there,
Yes.
obviously with the Israeli. And so yeah, no, very nice. Definitely, especially with the underwing cannons. It looks quite meaty because the front spinner isn't like blended to the chassis fuselage really.
It's sort
It's
of like
sort of squared off.
a bit like a 190 sort of.
Yeah. Bit random. There we go. Anyway, we've got those up as well. So these are the 70-second combo sets. There'll be two in there, up at £26 of your earth pennies. And is that about it? I think we're down into the normal.
That's about it. Yeah, that's it.
That's about it down in there. Very, very nice. Right, over to questions. We got Stuart, and he said, hi all. He says he's had a bad experience recently where the white tack that he's used for marking out camo decided, left marks. White tack normally is oil free. The only thing I would check, and because we've had this happen a few years ago, we had a member and he had the same thing, and he put pictures up, and you could see it had left a mark. But what he bought wasn't oil-free white tack; it was just white tack. So yeah, obviously blue tack is well known. It's very oily and it leaves marks on your posters and on your walls. And also, if you use it for doing camo work, i.e. making sausage worms on your model, then what can happen is obviously you get those greasy marks, and they're a nightmare to get off if you can at all. So it sort of, it ruins your model. White tack is oil free, so make sure it does say oil free on there, because if it doesn't, you can get normal white tack, and it didn't. I think mine was by Yoo-Hoo, is oil free.
Is it Yoo-Hoo or Bostik or something? Yeah, Yoo-Hoo.
Bostik or my one I've got is Yoo-Hoo did it, and it's called oil free white tack. And I've never had a problem with it. To be honest, this is it here.
Yeah, no, I'm masking up a very complicated, delicate.
Right.
Thing.
Haven't you finished that yet?
No, I'm going to be finished by Thursday.
Which Thursday?
Oh, Thursday's show, which is.
Very nice. But yeah, so that may be a thing as well, just to check that your white tack is oil free, because as I say, they're not all the same. Anyway, he's decided to search for other options, and looking around, he saw a few positive comments about MRP masking putty. Do MRP make it now as well? Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, right. Or AKs, or MiGs, or anybody else, or yeah. What's yours called?
Science putty, mine is.
Mine's called Clever Putty.
Just go on eBay and look for
putty, yeah.
Science Putty or Clever Putty or whatever you want to put, because it'll be a lot cheaper.
I think you can go to like Smith Toys if you're in the UK or wherever. You get different coloured ones, and it's the same stuff in it.
Yeah,
I've got the same as what Matt's got. Yeah.
I've got a black one and an orange one when I bought it. It's a few quid, like £4 or something. I don't know. It's cheap. So yeah.
And it's great because it's like a rubber ball.
It is, yeah.
I think the only thing is with it, you have to work quick with it, don't you? You can't sort of like leave it for days.
It's
so the two downsides to using this stuff. First of all, as I say, like Matt says, it's self-level. So if you use it for tack worms and you put it over your model, if you paint it there and then, no problem at all. But if you leave it on there, what happens is it will level out and it creeps. Yeah. And as I say, I've done shows on this where I've literally made a phallic symbol just before somebody else says it, like that, and literally during the show it goes. So what happens is, if you use it for worms, and I've done it because I used it on the Hurricane and it was the downside to it, if you noticed, if you go away for a couple of hours, it moves. It literally sinks and spreads out. So if you've got it where it's close together as well, it will literally come together. And that's the other downside to this stuff, because when you're using it as putty. So you make your tack worms like this, and then literally they touch. You can never normally get it apart. They will literally, it's impossible. So if you accidentally touch a piece with another piece and then lift, it pulls it all off in one. So, because again, it's melting into itself. So again, it's not, I don't think it's the be all thing, and I don't use it actually. I tried it on the Hurricane, and yes, it does work, but you got to work really quick. So if you're doing something small, no problem. If you're doing a big project, you've got to work really, really quickly with it. But
like I said, I think we've all got it, and I think we'd all default back to white tack.
I used it once on the Hurricane, which is the old Airfix Hurricane, which was probably 5 years ago now, and I must admit I've never used it since. So
I was looking for white tack on the shelf, and I pulled this stuff off. I ain't got what it is. That's
Super tack.
That's definitely not what I've been using. So,
but yeah, again, I would definitely check first to make sure your white tack is oil free. It needs to say oil free, because not all white tacks are the same, and I think that's what we came to the conclusion last time, that the guy who did it, it turns out it was just called white tack, but it still had oil in it, so that's why it was marking. Your other option to get around the problem as well is put down a protective coat. So if you're using a very flat surface, so if you've used a matte finish paint, what can happen is it will leach into that. But if you've got like a acrylic clear coat between you and it won't penetrate through it, because it's easier to wipe it away, and it will protect your layer of paint underneath and stops it getting into it. But yes, have a go with it though. It's cheap. You can buy it, as I say, on the internet a lot cheaper than you probably will get it from other said branded companies, and have a play with it. Glenn says, hello, my original question was going to be, can I blame Trumpeter panel line tools for not having no success using it? So I presume you mean the little thin one, the sharp one. I've tried using it again, and actually seems to be working great. Yeah, again, let me finish the question. He says, is there any difference between panel line tools, or is there one that you would recommend as an alternative to the Trumpeter one, as I don't find that comfortable to hold? The Tamiya one has different heads. Again, that's the funny one. Is it worth having in the future? All right. I will say one thing. Panel lines in general and rescribing is one of those things where it's practice. Practice. I've got videos on it, literally tutorial videos, which I know you said you've seen as well. And it's one of those things where you need to understand the tool that you're using, and not all tools are the same. Personally, as I said, we've all said it, you've heard it said, I like the UMM ones. I find them comfortable, and it has the right feel for me using it, and that's why I like it. I quite like it. It's thin, it's long, and that's it. But again, I've got everybody's here. I've got the Tamiya ones, which I think is this thing, which is literally lethal and tiny and incredibly expensive. I can't get on with it. Literally, I can't use it. It either goes too deep, or I've got no control over using it. So again, it's one of those things, like I often say with this hobby, it's time. You need to invest time in understanding and using it and going through. And like I did in a video, which I think I'd get in here somewhere, if you go to tutorials, just to say, these are all free to watch, and you go to Basic Modeling 101, and then if you go down in here somewhere, I have got full videos on it. If it all loads through, there we go. Rescribe. If you click on that one, you'll get these as some of the stills from it, and I do various things about doing panel lines and rescribing and how to use it. And like in this little photo here, you can see even how you hold it will give you different effects. So depending on the pitch or the angle that you're actually dragging your scriber through will give you different usage. And I'd say it doesn't probably look that massively different on there, but it's different depths it's cutting, and that's purely by how you hold it. So I think it's a lot to do with time, just understand. Like airbrushing, you might say to yourself, well, I want to learn airbrushing. It might take me 6 months to feel confident and good to go with it. Same goes for using a scriber. You need to invest the time into it.
I bet you we've all been down the same sort of like timeline where you start off with a pin vise.
Yep.
Trying to do it, and then I bet we've all then gone on to the Tamiya one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll try the P cutter.
And then the Trumpeter one.
Yep.
And then we'll end up on the UMM ones.
Yeah. Again, a lot of it is, I don't think you can physically because like I often say, that you ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers from people with tools they use, apart from us, and we will tend to use the UMM ones. But it is that thing. I think it's just what you're used to doing and how you hold it and how you use the actual tool. I'll tell you one thing, that trumpeter one is great for getting into tiny areas. For tiny little spots, it's a legend. It gets right in there. And again, scribing, it's not all about dragging. I push scribe as well. And again, I prefer pushing it round corners than I do dragging it round corners, and that's personal preference how you work it. But again, I've done the video on it. I know you said you've seen it already, but for people who haven't, it is free to watch. You can go off and have a look at that video, and I talk all about scribers and scribing and basically this type of stuff. So
I think a lot of people try and do a panel line in one go.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of making a little score for it to follow, and then sort of
yeah,
too much pressure in it in one go.
Too much pressure,
and then it'll just jump off. It'll go anywhere it wants, won't it?
Yeah, and once it's jumped off, it always wants to follow that line again, doesn't it?
Anyway,
getting it back off. So
that's a really good segue into why bother rescribing? Just buy a kit with raised panel lines, and you ain't got that trouble like what we talked about yesterday on our vlog, didn't we, Phil?
This is true. If you haven't seen it, yesterday's vlog, members only, I'm afraid, our little vlog we spoke about for an hour, and we were basically discussing Monogram being amazing manufacturing and light years ahead of their time in a lot of ways, and unfortunately their demise and why. And then obviously we were talking about really what's wrong with raised detail. Everybody wants recessed detail, but the reality is a lot of them should be raised. And how do you go about fixing the problem? And various things, and it was a great chat we had, and obviously the members got thoroughly involved with it as well. And like as Matt has dragged out one of their old classics, which is still available to do today, but we were saying about some of the old ones that they did were some of the best kits out there, and me and Matt have said we're going to do it. We're going to get hold of a couple of really old classic Monogram kits, and instead of doing what we've always done, which would be take off all the raised detail and rescribe it and put the details in that way, we're actually going to tackle how you go about basically putting raised detail back in, because you're going to get joins, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's no way around it. You're going to have to at some point put those details back in. And like we were discussing before we came on, there's so many different things available to us as modelers now for putting raised details back in that wasn't there back in the day. So it'd be interesting to see how modern products and modern airbrushing and stuff, because normally back in those nobody was airbrushing with raised detail, how you could actually turn out something really, really nice. Or not. It might go horrendously wrong.
I was about to say, or it might not work how you envision it, which is normally. But hey, we'll give it a go. I mean, obviously, like this is a Revel boxing, but there's a Monogram kit in it. So before people go, well, that's a Revel kit. It's not. It's a Monogram kit in the Revel box.
I didn't realise that was a Monogram. I've got that kit.
It's an original. I tell you what, I looked through the because I dragged it out from upstairs yesterday, and somebody pointed out on our chat that you get little crew figures. With a lot of the kits, and I forgot that you do, and actually they're all right, because obviously ICM with their Invader kit have kind of emulated that, haven't they? Because they've got the little separate now figures, I forgot you always used to get quite decent crew figures, and some of them didn't they come with boarding ladders as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the Voodoo and the Century series all came with all the boarding ladders.
I think the F105s did. I don't know, but you used to get little boarding ladders and all sorts. So the detail in them for the day was, was up there definitely. So anyway, if you're not a member and you want to see us, then become a member. And if you're a member and you've not watched it, go and catch it, because it's
go and catch up, because it was good chat actually. It was one of those quite interesting ones, and it was good chat, and it's good with the members getting involved with it as well when they're input. But it's something which is, we often say you need a spark with this hobby. It can get a little bit, mundane, and actually that's worked, because I actually want to build a Voodoo.
It is. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge out the norm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously the age of the kit is not CAD designed or anything, so you're going to have a few fit issues and some sorting out to do. Obviously, you've got the raised detail to sort out, but you've got a cockpit to paint. You can't just rip it off now and put an F set in it, or a Quinta Studios or a 3D. You've got to actually detail that cockpit, which for me, I brush painting anyway, so I'm looking forward to that and detailing the cockpit. But I think the only thing I can't remember, did they ever come with molded on harnesses? Because obviously that'll need changing. He's going to have harnesses if they're aftermarket.
I have a feeling some of them did. They had moulded in harnesses.
Yeah,
I think they were.
We'll try and keep
I think it'd be really nice. In some ways, it's not like a harping back to the golden age and all of that. But I think it would be one of those very interesting, with all the modern equipment that we've got now at our disposal, including obviously the painting techniques and stuff, to deal with raised details. You know, yeah, I've got a feeling it probably will be a good thing to do. As we said, it's not going to be, normally I'd get that kit, okay, we're going to rescribe and re-rivet the entire thing and off we go. But it'd be nice to say, nope, we're going to leave all the details. We're going to have to then fix those problems when we've sanded them all away through seams and various things, and how we'll go about it. And we can use different techniques to see which one works best and stuff like that. So,
it'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It will be an
say as well,
little project.
now we've got into scraping. I don't think we've got to abolish as much as you probably would have done back in the day with with sanding, whichever way you used to sand it. You could probably do a lot of scrape cleaning, a lot more test fitting and lining up, so you haven't got to just obliterate everything on the seam lines. So it'll be interesting exercise, shall we?
I think it definitely will be. So watch this space, because obviously we will do it as a series and all the rest of it. So it'll be quite interesting to have a go at that one.
We've got to get the kits, haven't we?
Well, yeah, we've got to get the kits first. Hopefully we've got a line on them, so it's all right.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, Chad says, hi all, quick question. Now that this might sound a bit odd, now this may sound a bit odd, but most of us use Tamiya extra thin cement, and some of us use Tamiya's airbrush cleaner. Can't get that in the UK though, can we?
No, can't.
No. Okay.
Definitely not.
Sorry, it's too toxic and dangerous, but you can get extra thin. But if you check the safety data sheet, if you check both, you'll notice that the ingredients are the same, only the percentage or two of difference. So can you substitute airbrush cleaner as a glue? Has anyone else tried this? Could you use airbrush cleaner to make sprue goo?
Tell you what, Chad, let us know.
Yeah, we can't get it in the UK, so
we can't get it, so we've got no idea. But say if you've actually got it, try it and give us some
let
feedback.
us know. Yes,
I have heard of people using Tamiya extra thin for cleaner. I've heard of people using it before to clean out airbrushes, and also what was the other stuff you used to get in brown bottles? Cement, very thin.
Oh, the
mech.
Mech, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of people using mech.
It's acetone, isn't it? It's only acetone.
It's pure acetone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
surely you could go on Amazon or somewhere and just buy some, because it's used in nails, in it, acetone.
Yeah,
it is. It's nail maneuver, isn't it? Nail
it's-
polish stinks. That's
But
the
there's
only
obviously
thing.
other ingredients in it to make it a glue, but it's an acetone-based product with other bits in it for the glue. But you've got to think, I wonder if the chemistry is obviously different from an airbrush cleaner to, even if same ingredients, if you've put different level, weights in or levels, or whatever, you're going to have a different product.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit more scientific, I think, than just...
Yeah. Well, I must admit,
same,
I have tried, because only out of pure curiosity, the Mr. Hobby Tool Cleaner.
Yeah.
It says everywhere, don't use it as a thinner. So I'm thinking it smells like lacquer thinners. So I gave it a whirl to see, but it doesn't. It literally destroys the paint.
Yeah.
So, and again, you would think to yourself, yeah, but you think it just works. It's a hot branded thinner.
Yeah.
But there's the percentages, because I know people have said about that lacquer thinners is almost the same stuff. But there's something in the ratios which obviously destroys the paint, because the paint just literally won't go down. It just rips itself apart. So you don't get a smooth paint finish at all.
Yeah.
But I just gave it a whirl just to see what would happen, and it's definitely right. You can't use it as a thinner. So a lot of these ones, there's crossovers in the hobby, and again, things like that. I'm sure that we've spoken about making sprue goo. For people who don't know, it's literally just melted down styrene sheet, and I always mix it with Tamiya. And the reason I do that is that you get zero shrinkage, and it dries really, really quick. But obviously you could just use it with neat acetone, because it will do the same stuff. But I find you get sinkage then, and obviously it takes a while longer to dry. This dries really quick. So again, it's that thing. Small little percentage of changes in the ingredients, I think, make quite a large difference. So that may be what that is as well. Yes, it will probably do it, but will it do it as well?
And just say it's styrene sheet, not sprue, despite the name.
Yes. Oh yeah, sprue goo is what it's the classic name it used to be called back in the day, which I think back in the day sprue goo was chips of sprue with acetone into a a glue into a paste and use it like that. This is a bit more of a refined one using styrene sheet. It's not sprue, so it's a lot better, and obviously with Tamiya Extra Thin it dries really quick with zero shrinkage, so that's why I tend to use it. But you know, again, it may be that type of in there, it's just a couple of percentage does make quite a large difference. So yeah. But if you're thinking about, because we were saying you could buy a bottle of it, can't you, quite cheap in the great scheme of things.
It's, I looked and it's all works out about £8 for 250ml, which,
yeah,
when you consider, what are they, £5 something for?
Yeah. My worry would be, can you imagine, like, you've got your model and you do a seam liner in it and you put that stuff on and you think, oh, that's worked well, it's cleaned it together. You come down the next day to find a trench where it's a really hot product and it's continued to melt the plastic, you know? Because I must admit, I did try a long time ago with a product for doing PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, do you remember when you couldn't get Tamiya Extra Thin in the country? It was like really bad. I did go out and buy from the plumber's centre PVC pipe because it basically smells the same. It smells like acetone and all the rest of it. The trouble was it was too hot and it was melting the plastic. And you would end up with big sink marks. So you brush it on and then you come down a couple of days later and there's actually a visible trench.
I think that's what people forget, because that's still cooking after you've put it on.
Yeah.
It's still evaporating, which is eating into your styrene. I mean, that's been scientifically made to work with, I presume, Tamiya styrene. Obviously, it does work with styrene in general, but it would develop for their own kits. So, you know, some boffin there in the lab coat has actually had to get all them levels correct for whichever Tamiya glue it is to make it work. So, like you say, you don't come back and it's just disintegrated whatever you've just glued together.
No.
And I think it's same with any of them, isn't it? Somebody's had to crack that code to make it work for what we need it for, you know. I presume it wouldn't be hard to replicate now the code's been cracked for other you know, we have seen other sort of extra things and, you know, thin glue come out from different manufacturers, but that's because somebody, whoever it is, a team, have cracked the code to make it work for us. And same with pipes. Obviously, it needs to be a thingy for pipes or whatever it is. I mean, there's a lot of same ingredients as well.
Detected at your front.
Sorry.
In a lot of things we probably use daily, but the quantities that they obviously made in makes it a different product from something else that's made with the same product.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Science, it's exciting, isn't it? Chemistry, science, and physics, and all that. Not that I was very good at it at school at all.
That's it.
I'll have to ask my brother-in-law because he is a chemist, so I could ask him. He might know. Oh yeah, that's such and such and such and such and. Yes.
Yeah, but say, Chad, give it a go and let us know what you.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
see what you can do about
way of just answering. We can't get it. Give it a go.
No.
Let us know. So, cool.
There we go. I think we're all done for today. So don't forget, you get everything on the 25% deal. Grab it whilst you can, because I say it won't stay there long. We've got new stocks and bits and pieces coming in all the time as well. So we've got a vlog from Matt tomorrow.
Yep.
And a vid in it.
And a vid. We've got a vlog and a vid tomorrow from Matt.
Do you want both up tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously don't forget, this Thursday there's no live show tomorrow night, so you've got Matt instead to keep you company.
Oh, you lucky people.
And all things like that. I'll be back with you obviously on Friday for the next part of this one and for the weekly roundup show as well, to make our way through on that one. So until then, everybody, happy modelling, take care, we'll see you soon. Say goodbye, gentlemen, we're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.